Hi, myself Pooja Bak, Assistant Professor of GKCM of GIS Group, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Here you will find the details of my contact information, and I have developed a Facebook page where regular updates regarding this course are available time to time. Hello everyone. Here I am going to explain classification of quantization process. So let's see. So in quantization, there are two types of quantization. One is uniform quantization and other one is non-uniform quantization. So in uniform quantization, there are also two types. One is mid-rate type and one is mid-rise type. So the quantization process can be classified into two types, uniform quantization and non-uniform quantization, and this classification is based on the step size. Okay, and the uniform quantization can be classified into two types also. One is mid-rate type and another one is mid-rise type. Okay, now let's see the uniform quantizer. A uniform quantizer is that type of quantizer in which the step size remains same throughout the input range. So throughout the input range, in uniform quantizer, the step size is remains same. Okay. And non-uniform quantizer? A non-uniform quantizer is that type of quantizer in which the step size varies according to the input signal values. Okay. So this is the uniform quantization and this is the non-uniform quantization. So you can see in uniform quantization, the step sizes remain same throughout the input range. Okay. And in non-uniform quantization, the step size varies according to the input signal. So in uniform quantization, the step sizes remain same, and in non-uniform quantization, the step size is not same and it is varies according to the input signal value. Okay. So now uniform quantizer. A uniform quantizer is called as an uniform quantizer if the step size remains constant throughout the input range, which I have already told. Okay. So now there are two types of uniform quantizer. Number one is symmetric quantizer of the mid-rate type, and number two is symmetric quantizer of the mid-rise type. Basically, quantizers can be uniform or non-uniform type. In a uniform quantizer, the representation levels are uniformly spaced. Otherwise, the quantizer is non-uniform. Okay. If the representation bit levels are uniformly spaced, then it is uniform quantizer, and otherwise it is non-uniform quantizer. Now let us consider only uniform quantizer. The quantizer characteristics can also be mid-rate or mid-rise type. Okay. In this figure shows the input-output characteristics of uniform quantizer of the mid-rate type, which is so called because the origin lies in the middle of a trait of the staircase-like graph. Okay. So, in this mid-trait type uniform quantization, you can see that this origin lies in middle of a trait of the staircase-like graph. Okay, and that's why it's called mid-trait type. And in this figure, it shows the corresponding input-output characteristic of uniform quantizer of mid-rise type. Okay. So, in which the origin lies in the middle of rising part of the staircase-like graph. So, in this graph, the origin lies in the middle of a rising part of the staircase-like graph. Okay. So, there are two types of uniform quantizer, mid-trait and mid-rise type. And in mid-trait type, you can see that the origin lies in the middle of a trait of staircase graph, and in mid-rise graph, origin lies in the middle of a rising part of the staircase-like graph. So, it may be noted that both mid-trait and mid-rise types of uniform quantizer are symmetric about the origin. Okay. Now, let's see the working principle of quantizer. Okay. Okay, let us see how uniform quantization takes place. So, for this purpose, we shall consider uniform quantizer of mid-rise type. Okay. It shows the transfer characteristics of a uniform quantizer of mid-rise type. So, let us assume that the input to the quantizer is x NTS, which varies from minus 4 delta to plus 4 delta. This means that's the peak to peak value of x NTS and will be between minus 4 delta to plus 4 delta. And here delta is the step size. Thus, input x NTS can take any value between minus 4 delta to plus 4 delta. Now, the fixed digital levels are available at plus minus delta by 2, plus minus 3 by 2 delta, plus minus 5 by 2 delta, and plus minus 7 by 2 delta. So, these levels are available at quantizer because of its characteristics. So, according to this figure, we have if x NTS equal to 4 delta, then x QNTS equal to 7 by 2 delta. So, if x NTS equal to 4 delta, then XQNTS equal to 7 by 2 delta, and if XNTS equal to minus 4 delta, then XQNTS equal to minus 7 by 2 delta. Okay. So thus it may be observed from this figure, and that maximum quantization error would be what? So the difference between these two is 7 by 2 delta 4 delta minus 7 by 2 delta is what? Is delta by 2. So in both cases, the maximum quantization error would be plus minus delta by 2. Okay, because XQNTS is 7 by 2 delta and XNTS is 4 delta. So 7 by 2 delta minus 4 delta, it will be minus delta by 2. And next one is XQNTS is minus 7 by 2 delta and XNTS is minus 4 delta. So it will be plus delta by 2. So from above, we conclude that quantization error may be expressed as epsilon. Okay, epsilon is quantization error. So which will be XQNTS minus X of NTS. So here epsilon represents the quantization error. Okay. So now when XNTS equal to 0, quantizer will assign any one of the nearest binary level. Okay. So when it will be 0, then quantization will assign any one of the nearest binary level such that either delta by 2 or minus delta by 2. So if delta by 2 is assigned, then quantization error will be X. So error formula is epsilon XQNTS minus of XNTS. So now XQNTS is delta by 2 and X of NTS is 0. So it will be delta by 2. So when XNT is equal to 0, then quantizer will assign any one of the nearest binary level such that either delta by 2 or minus delta by 2. Okay. If delta by 2 is assigned, then quantization error will be epsilon equal to XQ NTS minus X of NTS. So XQ NTS is delta by 2 and X of NTS is 0. So the result will be delta by 2. Okay. So from this figure, it may also be observed that for delta less than X NTS less than 2 delta, okay, it means the value of X NTS is greater than delta and it's less than 2 delta. Then XQ NTS is 3 by 2 delta. Okay. Okay, let's see. So if X of NTS is greater than delta and less than 2 delta. Okay. So the value of XQ NTS is 3 by 2 delta. or if minus delta less than x NTS less than minus 2 delta. Okay. Then when it is, then xq NTS is minus 3 by 2 delta. Okay, then it will be minus 3 by 2 delta, because when it is 2 delta, then xq NTS is 3 by 2 delta, and when it is minus of 2 delta, then xq NTS is minus 3 by 2 delta. Okay. So when the value of x NTS is from delta to 2 delta, sorry, when x of NTS value is from delta to 2 delta, then the value of xq NTS is 3 by 2 delta, and when the value of x NTS is minus delta to minus 2 delta, then the value of x q NTS is minus of 3 by 2 delta. Okay. So this means that the maximum quantization error will be plus minus delta by 2, because the 3 by 2 delta minus delta, so it will be delta by 2. It's 3 by 2 delta minus 2 delta, so it will be minus delta by 2. So it means the maximum quantization error will be plus minus delta by 2. So in other words, the maximum quantization error is given by epsilon max equal to mod of delta by 2. Okay, I will explain it again. So this is the working principle of quantizer. Okay, here xNTS will be between minus 4 delta to plus 4 delta, and delta is the step size. Okay, so the input xNTS can take any value between minus 4 delta to plus 4 delta. So the fixed digital levels are available at plus minus delta by 2, plus minus 3 by 2 delta, plus minus 5 by 2 delta, and plus minus 7 by 2 delta. So these levels are available at quantizer because of its characteristics. So if x of NTS equal to 4 delta, then x of q NTS is 7 by 2 delta, because at this value of x NTS 4 delta, then x of q NTS is what? 7 by 2 delta. Okay, and if x of NTS is minus 4 delta, then x of q NTS is minus 7 by 2 delta. So if x of NTS equal to 4 delta, then xq NTS equal to 7 by 2 delta. And if x of NTS equal to minus 4 delta, then xq NTS equal to minus of 7 by 2 delta. Okay, so the quantization error will be, the formula of quantization error is epsilon equal to xq NTS minus of x NTS. So the difference between this xq NTS and x NTS is plus minus delta by 2 for both cases. And here epsilon represents the quantization error. Okay, now x of NTS equal to 0. Then quantizer will assign any one of the nearest binary level such that either plus delta by 2 or minus delta by 2. If plus delta by 2 is assigned, then quantization error will be xqnts minus xnts. So xqnts is delta by 2 because delta by 2 is assigned, and xnts is 0. So quantization error will be delta by 2. And from this figure, it may also be observed that when the value of xnts is delta to 2 delta, okay, when the value of xnts is greater than delta and less than 2 delta, then xqnts is what? 3 by 2 delta. And when the value of xnts is minus delta to minus 2 delta, it means the value of xnts is greater than minus delta and less than minus 2 delta. Then xqnts equal to minus 3 delta by 2. So this means that the maximum quantization error will be the difference between the xqnts minus xnts is plus delta by 2 and minus delta by 2. So the error will be plus minus delta by 2. Okay. So in other words, the maximum quantization error is given by epsilon max equal to delta by 2. Okay. Now let's see the transmission bandwidth in a pulse code modulation system. Okay. So we shall evaluate the transmission bandwidth for pulse code modulation system, and let us assume that the quantizer noise V number of binary digit to represent each level. So in each level the quantizer noise is V number of binary digit. So there the number of levels that may be represented by V digits will be Q equal to 2 to the power V, which I have already told in my previous video. So here Q represents the total number of digital levels of a Q level quantizer. And for example, suppose V equal to 4 bits, then the total number of levels, then Q will be 2 to the power 4 equal to 16 levels. So each sample is converted to V binary bits such that number of bits per sample equal to V. So we know that number of samples per second is denoted by Fs, and therefore number of bits per second is expressed as number of bits per second equal to number of bits per sample into number of samples per second. So number of bits per sample is V bits per sample, number of samples per second, which is Fs, sample per second. So the number of bits per second is known as signaling rate of pulse code modulation, and it is denoted by R. So the signaling rate R equal to Vfs, where Fs is greater than equal to 2 FM. FM is the maximum frequency present in analog input, and Fs is the sampling frequency, and FM is the maximum frequency present in analog input. And since bandwidth needed for pulse code modulation transmission is given signaling rate, so therefore we have transmission bandwidth in PC. So bandwidth greater than equal to 1/2R. Okay. Now the R equal to VFS. So therefore bandwidth greater than equal to 1/2 VFS. Again, since Fs greater than equal to 2 FM, so bandwidth greater than equal to VFM. So this is the required expression for bandwidth of a PCM system. Okay. So there are V number of binary digits to represent the each level of pulse code modulation. And we know the formula of total number of digital level. It means Q level quantizer. It will be Q equal to 2 to the power V. So if V is 4 bit, then Q will be 2 to the power 4 when 16 level. So each sample is converted to V binary bits. So number of bits per sample is V, and we know the number of sample per second means the sampling frequency is Fs, and number of beats per second is expressed as number of beats per second equal to the number of beats per sample into number of sample per second. So here V beats per sample and Fs sample per second, and this number of beats per second is known as signaling rate of pulse code modulation system, which is denoted by R. So R equal to V into Fs, and where Fs greater than equal to 2 FM, FM is maximum frequency present in analog input, and also the bandwidth needed for pulse code modulation transmission is given by half of the signaling rate. So therefore we have transmission bandwidth in PCM is BW is greater than equal to half of the rate is half of R. So BW greater than equal to 1/2 R. But R equal to VFS. So therefore bandwidth greater than equal to 1/2, and put this value of R. So 1/2 VFS. Again, since Fs greater than equal to 2 FM. Okay. So bandwidth is, it will be V of FM. So bandwidth greater than equal to VFM. So this is the required of bandwidth of a pulse code modulation system. So I hope that you have understood this session, and thank you so much for watching this video.